Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Hey guys, we're back. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's had a really good week. And of course, last weekend was rough. It takes a lot for me to cancel a live stream, but yeah, last week I wouldn't have even been able to see the screen. I would have been sitting here squinting at it, let alone having the lights on or anything like that. That would have been terrible. But we're feeling better as of a couple days ago. Managed to get that video out of the questions that we asked on the Facebook page and all that stuff. So that's a big plus. And Charlie here is he's going to help me tonight. I think he's going to help me. He's probably going to be just a big pain in the butt. Ain't you? He just shed. So, of course, he'd been refusing meals a little bit. Let's see if he wants to just take the other chair there. He can co-host properly. There you go, bud. There. He'll go over there in a second. Oh, so let's see who we've got with us tonight. Scott, I think this was actually a comment from earlier. If you're on, good to see you. Hey, Turtle's here. Laura, good evening. Yeah, the earlier times still kind of weird for me. Like I said, I was used to doing this stuff at nighttime before. And of course, as the season changed and everything bumped up and then bumping the time back a little bit, it just seems weird doing it with the sun still up like that. But it works out. Brandon, how you doing, buddy? Hey there. I think this is a fellow North Carolinian. How you doing? MF, good to see you. I like that picture. I'm all about dragons. Yes, I am. I'm feeling a lot better. A lot better. It's been a pretty rough couple of weeks. Louis, good to see you. MF's got a baby boa. Oh, yeah, man. These things are so much fun. And one thing that always amazes me about Charlie here, this boa imperator, is how strong he is compared to the other ones, the retics and things like that are his, comparable to his length. He is just, this guy, he'll go on and he doesn't even have to get all the way around your neck. You put him over your shoulders, he'll pinch the back of it and make you dizzy. It's crazy. Megan is on. How you doing? See ya. Slow. Good to see you, man. Hey, Jessica's here. Yeah, I got your man on. He's kind of snoozing out of the light right now, sitting on the chair. Yeah, there. I keep waiting for him to go the rest of the way over there. He's still kind of half wrapped around my leg. See if I can get this camera figured out again. Oh, what else we got? Oh, yeah, Charlie's a good boy. Judd, good to see you. Eric, hello. Yeah, so for those of you guys that know Christina Hill, her and Jessica both have laid claim to Charlie since he's such a sweet boy. Tam, how you doing? Let's see. Okay, bud. Are you good now? He always makes me nervous because these holes in the chair. Let's see, I should have leaned the other way. But those damn holes in the back right there, they're just big enough for him to get all the way through. But once he gets in there, he doesn't want to get out. And if he doesn't want to get out of someplace, you really play hell trying to get him out of there. Like I said, this guy is a brute. Hey, Mom made it. Good to see you. All right. So, um, man, there is really not a whole lot of news outside of the fact that we was kind of on the back burner for a while I was recouping. And I was still working the day job through this whole thing too. So man, by the time I got done with work, I came home and I fell over. That was it. I was toast. But like I said, doing better. I was going to get all the animals outside today, but it never got over like 70. And I like to have them out, it's got to be at least like 75 or something like that for me to really feel comfortable letting them get out and run around. They'd probably be fine otherwise, but I like for it to be a little bit warmer to get them out. But some of you guys, I know a lot of you guys are on the Facebook page, and we put that question out a week or two ago about what your biggest fears were about keeping snakes and lizards and so forth. And we managed to get, you guys may have caught it, you may not have. Got a video out 2 days ago that kind of addressed that, kind of let everybody know what the 3 most common responses were. So if you missed that, you'll definitely want to go check it out. It's pretty good stuff. And then, of course, as soon as the video came out, all the other stuff, the really bad stuff, started coming out about, people worrying about, man, if we had a house fire or stuff like that, or and that's always something that's like in the front of my mind every day. Checking wires and stuff, making sure the stuff's not getting hot. Every single day when I pull into the driveway, I look at the house and I'm like, great, it's not on fire. That's just like my worst nightmare, having something like that happen. And actually, for those of you guys that don't know, Charlie came from a place where they had a house fire in the wintertime. So he had some problems because of the cold. They was really having a hard time keeping temperatures up and stuff like that. So, yeah. If it's, she was saying that, she doesn't take them outside if it's less than 80. Yeah. I figure if I'm going to have, room temperatures, I typically keep the house about between 70 and 75. If it gets closer to 80, then I'll take them out. But definitely anything below 70, I definitely won't take them outside. And generally won't take them out unless there's direct sunlight at 75 degrees outside. So that way they've got the opportunity to warm up. So, man, and I shaved right before this too. I feel like I got a hair on my nose. Oh man. Well, I hope you get to feeling better, Judd. That's okay. Apparently he's not going to be in the frame too much. He's just laid down in the chair over there chilling. So that's another thing. Jessica was asking how the Tiger is doing. He's doing good. And actually, the video that I filmed, I want to say it was Thursday. I think it was Thursday that I filmed it. I'd done that video twice. First time I did it, the focus was off on the camera, and then I did like a little bonus footage here working with the Tegu at the end of it, where he came out. He was on the bottom of the enclosure, and as soon as I opened up the door, I stuck my fingers in there, snapped at him. He rushed right over to me, and then he crawled out on my lap, crawled out and put my hands up underneath him. He just laid there resting on my hands for the longest time, which was really cool. But I had moved or coughed or something like that, and I guess it startled him, and he got startled awake, and then he turned around to take a shot at me. So I had to get him back in there real quick. Then he tried taking a shot at me again, but I mean, it's baby steps with him. And it kind of sucked that the video, I might have actually published that first run of it if it weren't for the fact that when he jumped, my hand came back and I hit the microphone, and it just screwed the audio up for the rest of the video. So, but we're still hoping to get some more update videos out with him. He's doing pretty good. It's just taking a long time, and it's just baby steps with him. So, Nicole was saying her husband saw a snake this afternoon. It's pretty sad. I don't see too many snakes out here. I seen a little den of like 3 or 4 decayed brown snakes out on a job site Thursday, I think it was. But yeah, even with the cameras and stuff like that, I get on pretty frequently and check the cameras that I've got downstairs just to put my own mind at ease. So I don't know. I haven't weighed myself in a while. I probably still am losing weight a little bit. It's either because I'm getting healthier or I'm dying. I don't know which one it is. Kind of flip a coin. Yeah, both of them will make you lose weight. Oh, that's cool. Megan was saying the update on New Tegu is great. Her and her husband are both really enjoying the tips. Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't see very often. That's why I like doing those series, because you just don't see too many people that put out there the real life stuff. It's either the really dramatic, getting bit the whole time, or it's an animal that's already socialized, and it's like, look what a good job I did. But yeah, it's you don't see too many folks actually putting the stuff out there where it's like, okay, this is how slow it goes. This is how it's sometimes 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Uh, it can be just such a slow, deliberate process with these guys. And it's kind of the bad thing about putting out those type of videos is that and they can seem really redundant and repetitive, because it's really going to be a lot of the same thing over and over and over again. And I've never been much of an entertainer, so if I don't have anything new to talk about, it's kind of hard to get motivated to go down there and do the same video 3-4 times. So I may end up continuing to work with him, and as we get a little bit more progress and do a little bit more things with him, just so that they're different. Folks can only watch the same video so many times before they're like, okay, yeah, it's cool, but this is the same as it was last time. And it's just the nature of the beast when you're working with these guys. It's going to be the same experience over and over again. Sometimes a worse experience, as it gets better. So, oh, hey, Lewis, cool. How you doing, man? Oh, Brandon said you had another good handling session with your worst snake. Seem to be building trust. That's an awesome feeling, man, when you're really fighting these guys at first and things start to settle in and they start to get calm. Yeah, it's the same thing with Bob the Sri Lankan right here, man. A lot of folks really benefited from that series. And it's really rewarding to be able to get him out and work with him and see him relaxed and actually cruising and feeling comfortable. Really love it. Nicole's got some good news. Oh, cool. So you guys are able to get one, a sand boa or a male hognose. Oh, cool. Those are both pretty tiny. Male hognose don't get pretty big. But yeah, they're both pretty. Now, I've never worked with sand boas myself, so I don't know how easy or difficult they are. I know from what I've heard that sand boas end up just being an empty aquarium half the time because they like to burrow, they like to bury themselves and stuff. So you won't really get to see them very often. My little male hognose that I've got downstairs, I may have to bring him up one of these days. He's just really small. But he's kind of the same. Every now and then I'll see him cruising. Most of the time he just minds his own business and wants to be left alone. I mean, he eats for me and stuff, but he lets me know when he doesn't want to eat, because he'll just start defensively striking the prey items left and right. And he'll do that for a week or two, something like that. And then all of a sudden I'll go in there and he'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll eat now. So He doesn't just refuse, he violently refuses. Jed was saying about getting a storm cloud morph. I'll have to look those up. I'm not familiar with those. Matter of fact, I'll look that up right now and see what they look like because I'm curious. Storm, if I can type, come on. Storm cloud, hog nose. Oh, those are cool. I'll pull the picture up and I'll share it so you guys can see it. I like that. What's the best picture? I think that's a good picture. If it'll, okay. I hate it when it takes you to a website that's got a whole bunch of pictures that you're not looking for. Let's see. Okay, this one might work. That's the same thing. Come on. Find me a good picture. Okay, well, I'm just going to make this work then. I'm not going to sit there and browse through the... Oh, where's that? There we go. Put that one up. That's awesome. Yeah, this is a storm cloud morph she was talking about. I really like that. Sharp. Okay. Shut that down. I just wanted to see what it was. I didn't want to be the only one seeing what it was for the first time. So, yeah, my hog nose are really fun. They can be a little touchy sometimes. My female is the one that likes to punch me with her nose all the time, but that's just because she doesn't get handled a whole lot. Once I get her out, a lot of times she's fine. So, hey, Aaron, how you doing? Aaron says he's following the tegu socialization techniques with your juvenile tegu. It's going very well. Awesome. Yeah, it's so much easier too, I think, when they're younger. I think, you know, if you start out doing it right when they're younger, I think they transition a little bit better rather than getting an older one and trying to work through whatever they've been dealing with before. So, and she's saying she likes to put out taming videos using different communications methods, but it is difficult to do without a camera person. That's why I got the gimbal back there, that tracking gimbal. I think makes a huge difference. But I am kind of fortunate, making the best out of a bad situation, a small space. This camera, I can set it back and you can pretty much see everything. The only thing is I've got to get some new lenses for this thing. The ones that I've got, typically what I'll do with the videos is I'll set it up, set the autofocus up, and as I'm editing, I'll try and zoom into stuff. But when I'm doing this in 1080, the picture pixelates out too much as I zoom in on it. So you just don't get that clarity. And I can record in 4K on this, but when I record in 4K on this camera, I lose the autofocus function. So I'd have to set focus on it. And even though I could get a little bit higher resolution, I still wouldn't get the right focus on it. So it's frustrating. I think a little bit better lens may help a little bit, but we'll see. It's still a work in progress with this thing, getting it all sorted out. It's still not a cinematic camera by any stretch of the imagination. So. Yeah, if you're, Nicole was saying she was still a little bit allergic to bee stings, so she's worried about a hognose bite. I don't know, man. I've never heard of anybody taking one and having any kind of real reaction to it. Like I've developed a sensitivity over the years to bee stings. Like if I get stung by a yellow jacket or something, I swell up like mad. And I still don't worry about, if the hoggy decides to bite me. She does. I'm pretty sure it'll be less bad than a mangrove snake bite that Kevin took. That looked pretty gnarly for a while. I didn't even see what it ends up looking like now, but yeah, that snake just chew on him and chew on him. It looked pretty bad there for a second. Oh yeah, yeah. If you guys aren't keeping up with Jessica and iguana that she's working with, she's got the illegal alien that she's housing there. He'd hijacked a ride from Mexico. He's a wild caught, and animal control was like, "We don't know what to do with him." So she took him in, and they've been doing really good. But again, she's experiencing the whole make a couple steps forward, have a setback, couple steps forward, have a setback. Definitely, that's one thing. You've definitely got to have a lot of patience when you're working on socializing these guys, because they just they will frustrate you if you're easily frustrated. That's for sure. Oh yeah, yeah. There's something about hoggies. They definitely look better in person than on camera. And they're cool too if you're used to working with pythons, because they're keeled scaled. So they've got that venomous snake feel, with those rough scales. Yeah, I don't have any more than two of them. I got a male and a female. But oh yeah, that's really cool. And hello, Julie. Hey, Travis, how you doing? Good to see ya. Rachel made it. See, Brandon's saying he's got a male and a female hognose. The only issues I have when handling is every time I take them out, my wife steals them from me. Yep. She's being smart about it. She's letting you take all of those initial pops, and then as soon as they come out and calm down, it's like, okay, give it to me now. Man. First time catching a live. Awesome. Good to have you here. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, Charlie's down here starting to, he's probably going to curl up in that chair here in a second. I may take him back out to his enclosure in a minute and bring one of the other guys out. He is so difficult to keep on here and still work everything, because, he gets up around my neck and my face turns purple instantly. So you got to watch this guy. Oh, Nicole's saying in January, hubby was 100% against a snake. Worm down talking about bar check, snake discovery, me and Kevin and USARK. Awesome. Yeah, there. I don't know, man. Once you get started, you start handling the little ones, and you start getting over that initial fear of them, and you start moving into a little bit bigger snakes and a little bit bigger snakes. It's pretty easy to get addicted to it. Yeah, Kevin's arm looked like it was in a meat grinder after that. Southern Charm, how you doing? Cannabis reviews. That's got to be a fun job. How you doing, man? Favorite YouTuber? Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, Jessica's saying I need a cat tree for him to climb on. That is a fact. It's going to happen at some point. It's just so much stuff to do between a day job and keeping up with these guys. Like, I went down to film that video, and I filmed the first part of it up here, and then went downstairs, got the camera set up, turned around, and I was like, Jay destroyed his enclosure. And I just set the camera up. Hey, this is real life. This is what you walk into. So we ended up cleaning enclosures after I got everything edited and put out. I got lucky too, because the the newer guy, the Marble Platinum male retic that I filmed with. Have you guys seen that? I had him out. I didn't have him out for very long. He ran around for a little while and then went over my shoulder and right back up into the enclosure. And I was like, okay, well, I ain't going to fight you. If you want to go in there, go ahead. And it wasn't a minute later, man, I could hear him back there just unloading the rabbit that he had last week. So I'm thinking that he was just being nice to me and saying, okay, well, I'm not going to piss down the front of your shirt. Let me go home. So I appreciated that. And we had just talked about that too, about people having questions about if it was normal to have your snakes pee on you every time you take them out. So, Scabby Snack, how you doing? Yeah. There's some things that got to fall into place before Jessica was asking if we're still looking for a new place. Yeah, it's. I mean, the market's kind of stupid now, anyway. But there's a couple things that we're waiting on. There's no point in going out and finding a place now because the way things turn around. If we find some place, love it, it's gonna be perfect, great. By the time we get all our ducks in a row, somebody else is gonna buy it, and we're gonna be like, damn. So we're gonna have to start all over again. So, got some stuff that's kind of sitting in probate. As soon as all that stuff gets squared away, then we'll be able to start looking at making a move. So if we can do it sooner, we can. I definitely want to try and make it happen this summer. But again, not everything is in our control at this moment. So we got to wait for some things to happen. Just being patient. Things happen in their own time. I'm not going to stress it. We're going to keep making the best of what we got in the meantime and doing as much as we can here. And just kind of getting my back ready for this move when it does happen. Yeah, Scabby was talking about his ball python crapped on him the first time he came out. Yeah, they will certainly do that. How is the socializing Fraser going? I kind of miss him. Fraser was socialized when I got him. I was a friend of mine is like, any of the animals that I've got here, if you want to take them over and do some videos with them, use them for educational purposes, that'd be great. And I was like, awesome. I'd really like to get one of these water monitors over and work with him. But everything that I did with him was just so easy. That animal, from day one, I wasn't even the least bit worried about getting bit by him. He didn't display any bad behavior. Just a freaking awesome animal. He came from Kevin McGurley. So he's one of Nerd's monitors. And it's kind of another thing with not having a whole lot of space here. I would love to have kept him and had the room to build the enclosure that I wanted to for him. But that was one thing. And the other thing was that he just didn't display any type of negative behavior at all. He just a little bit of uneasiness with changing environments and stuff like that. But when he'd come out, I'd let him go wherever he wanted to. I wasn't even the least bit worried about him. So it's hard to make videos on socializing an animal when they're already socialized, because then you're talking all hypotheticals. You can't really demonstrate anything. And you don't see the things like you do with the tegu where you're working with them and all of a sudden they turn around and they're like, okay, I want to bite you now. And, that's the part where I think people really benefit from seeing it, is where, you're actually reacting to an animal that's trying to bite you and working through that. So Fraser, he ended up going back to my friend's house. He's in good hands over there. Definitely really good hands. But I'm going to miss him. I still go over and see him every now and then. But yeah, so that's the deal with Fraser. He ended up going back home. So now we've got the tegu just coincidentally. ended up taking him in a few weeks ago now. And I've been working with him. He's doing better. Taking him a little bit longer to get comfortable and get settled in. But, oh, yeah. Yeah. Everything will work out when it's supposed to. Like I said, the only thing about this is it just gives me all the time in the world to sit here and roll ideas around in my head so that when we do get ready to pull the trigger on this, I'm probably going to burn out that gimbal and about 2 or 3 others like it, because when we get to the point where we can move, I'm going to be recording a bunch of that stuff. My shop is going to be set up so that I can start building the enclosures that I want to build and have the room to do it, have the space to put in the size of the enclosures that I want to. So I'm really excited about it. But mental health is important too. So I'm just kind of goose fraba, and things will happen in their own time. When they do, awesome. A lot of things got to come together first. So. Stephen talking about the retake going back in, being polite. Part of that, man, that was one of the first things that I thought about. As soon as he went back in his enclosure, I was like, you know what? I bet he knew he needed to go and just wanted to get off of me and not do it there. So that was cool. Monty, my big female down there, she's good for that too. And in the summertime too, I'll kind of try and time taking her outside. He was talking about how she won't go in her enclosure. She'll go outside in the grass. If you time it just right and you get them outside, get them moving around and stuff like that, then you can get them to go outside pretty frequently. Oh, hey, Chad. Good to see you. Love my Nile. Green iguana or Nile? Nile, hands down, every time. I love don't get me wrong, man. Iguanas with them big old jowls on the males and stuff like that. I love it, man. They're just awesome looking. As a matter of fact, I'd seen one, I think it was in Raleigh, that they had captured. It looked like it was an escape pet, or it might have hijacked on a vehicle or something up from Florida or something. I was like, man, see, I wish I had the room, because I would just go pick him up and take that one in. Because I do like iguanas too, man. They're really cool. But wouldn't trade Niles for nothing. And here lately, I really need to start filming more of this stuff, because Niles he has gotten so personable over the last couple months. It's amazing to see, what he was 6 months, a year and a half ago. Now when I go downstairs, man, he'll be peeking up over the tub. And as soon as I see him, that tongue slides down the side of his mouth, and I'll open up the door and he'll start, walking down towards me and stuff. I'll go and sit down next to him in the tub, and he'll start like trying to crawl out on me now. So it's really gratifying to see all these years of work with him starting to pay off. But even still, it's still in the back of my head from where he bit me in the back of the neck. When he starts coming up towards me, I'm still really cautious with him, just because I want to avoid that. Yeah, liken it to passive aggressiveness when they decide to go on you. Yeah, I think a lot of it is a lot of it can be just fear and discomfort and stuff like that. If they're not really comfortable with you, then that can cause them to do it. I think a lot of it too is, they may be sitting in their enclosure, not really moving a whole lot. And then as soon as they get moving, that body starts twisting around, and it's like, there you go. You can have it. I don't want it no more. Hey, Super Chat. Thank you so much, sir. Started telling people who want retics to go look at your enclosures. You're the man. Keep it up. I appreciate it, man. And I'll tell you what, I mean, my enclosures are bare bones. And like I said, one of our goals when we get moved is, for my up here, we've got smaller snakes. The enclosures are pretty cool. I'm happy with them. But even still, my little mainland over here, she's not going to be in there forever. It's not going to be very long, and I'm going to have to bump her out of that. So the enclosures that we've got for the big mainlands downstairs, I'm really looking forward to getting them more space. They've got to come out pretty frequently and run around in a playpen that's down there that we've made it so we can modify Niall's enclosure, that door down. But that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Kenley, good to see you. Yeah, the Niles, I really need to get in there and start doing some more stuff with him. Like I said, I was going to take everybody outside today, but it's a little cool. So tomorrow is going to be the day to take them outside. We'll get everybody outside as soon as it warms up and then feed in the evenings. Fenrir. Fenrir sounds familiar. It seems like I should know that name. I'm sure I've probably seen that animal reference before. I don't know. Is that the croc monitor? His name Fenrir up there? What to say? Hey. Good to see you. Oh, you know what I have not done yet? I have not went over the USARK stuff. I almost forgot. Yeah, I thought it was a croc monitor. I know that's about the only one I've seen him really working with here recently. Oh, let's see. Where are we going now? We go here. This, I'm going to stop sharing, stop that one. So now for those of you guys who are new or newer here, we do this every week. I normally do it a lot earlier, but I kind of forgot. I always talk about USARK. And I'm actually, one of the things I need to get busy on too, Jeremy's collecting up some videos. I know Abby, the curly haired keeper, put one out. There's a couple other guys, just little reels that they're putting out, introducing their animals and pushing USARK. For those of you guys that aren't currently members, I really encourage you to get on board with them. Memberships aren't much if money's a concern. If it's not, then by all means do more. But every week we go over the alerts that are out currently, and fortunately there's nothing new still. Looks like they're giving us a break for a little while, but this is the homepage. If you've never seen it before, as soon as you open it up, it talks about all of the different alerts that are out for the different states. They watch all the legislation, and they'll read through dozens and dozens and hundreds of pages of this stuff just to find the little areas where they've got these reptile laws hidden, bans, restrictions, stuff like that. And they put it out here in these alerts and encourage everybody to, generate letters to FWC, the legislators, anybody that's got to be contacted. And here this year, there's 5 of them that have been shut down cold. So it's really awesome. And the memberships, man, they've got a couple different, starting at $20 a year, 40, I think most of us could probably pull off $40 a year for a membership. Really encourage folks to do it. The numbers help a lot. And even once you get your membership, if you win a lottery, you're welcome to contribute as much as you want to, as many millions of dollars as you can. Otherwise, and they've got a lot of fundraisers and stuff like that they do too. So there's all kinds of opportunities to help out. But it does make a huge difference. They do a lot of good work, and we definitely need to get, if you've got any kind of animal at all, consider it part of the cost of owning that animal. And I think think that's really important for everybody to stay on board with. So, there's a good one. Yeah, Niles is something else, man, and he's just getting better and better as it goes. I want to get a croc monitor as well. I just absolutely love. There's something different about just a croc monitor's face and their eyes and everything. I'm really fascinated with them, and I think they'd be a really great animal to work with. What monitor do I recommend to start with? If you've got the space, Asian water monitors are babies, man. Like Fraser, that Asian water monitor that I had here, if you've got space to give them a big enough enclosure with a big enough water receptacle in there, they're just like the golden retrievers of lizards. If you get one that's already been socialized pretty much and they're not afraid of people, and then you learn the basics of them, you can always continue to improve as they grow. The only bad part about Asian water monitors, and I say this knowing that there's a lot of folks that are starting to breed smaller ones, starting to breed some of the size out of them, because Asian water monitors can get huge, and you just can't. I'm talking like 7-8 feet. I've seen some really big Asian water monitors before, from tip of their nose to the tip of their tail. And I've also seen one that was out here that it ended up dying of impaction because it wasn't even kept in a big enough enclosure where it could really move around or anything. So it's really important. These animals, they swim, they climb stuff. They've got to have enough room to move around for them to stay healthy long term. So the space is the only thing that, the only thing that's kind of a downside. If you can, if you can make enough room for them, they're great. People talk a lot about Ackies and stuff like that. I've never kept Ackies. All I can do is kind of relay secondhand what I've heard about them, but I understand those are pretty easy to keep. Let's see. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on beginning monitors. I'm prejudiced though. I love Asian water monitors and Niles and croc monitors. All the big ones. The bigger an animal is, the more I like it. Man, I'm kind of starting to go hoarse already. I had 2 weeks of not really doing anything. Unless I'm in front of the camera and it's recording, or we're doing a live stream or something, I do not talk a whole lot. When I do this stuff, I generally get all of my talking for that week out of the way. So yeah, I'm going to be a little bit hoarse tonight. Let's see. Somebody going down in Orlando through USARK shirt to the French Quarter Resort. They have some huge reptile lovers working there. They gave you a free dessert. Oh, cool. I don't know what WDW is. I'm guessing Disney World or something like that. But that's cool. Oh yeah. Yeah, croc monitors are something else. I've had one that I used to interact with a little bit. Man, if they're not socialized, they can be really unnerving because of those monstrous jaws of theirs. But God, they're just awesome. Love them. Yeah, black throats are really cool too. Man, I'm trying to think. I think it was out here somewhere where they had, maybe it was, no, because that's the last time I ended up hearing about that was in Florida. So, BJ, how you doing? I appreciate it, man. Much appreciated. We're trying to keep up. Come on. I think I'm gonna have to jump up here in a second and take Charlie back to his house because he's starting to want to get down on the floor. Let me take him back real quick. It won't take me but a second. I don't want him getting all tied up in the holes in these chairs. Come on, buddy. Go on. This guy. This is not a big snake, but God, is he friggin' strong. Come on. There you go. Tell everybody see you later. Says, bye, Jessica. See you at the next event. I'll be right back. Let me go throw him in his house real quick. Okay. All right. He's back and he can't get into trouble anymore. So, Caesar, how you doing? It's another thing I'd like to have room for is a nice little caiman. Yeah. See, that's one of the things, man. It's like painful for me to just start talking about other animals that I don't have because then I want to go out and get them, but I know I don't have room for them, so I can't. Oh yeah, that Charlie, that guy out there, man, he's the sweetest animal ever. I mean, it's funny too. I mean, he's still got personality. He'll still tell me when he doesn't want to be messed with. I'll go in there. A lot of times he'll be curled up on his platform on his heat, and I'll just open up the door, put my hands on him, and wait for him to kind of wake up and start moving his head around. And if he's okay with being handled that day, he'll kind of lift his head up a little bit, and then I'll take him out. If he wants to be left alone, he'll literally start hissing at me. He'll open up his mouth and show me his teeth and hiss at me, and I'll just be like, okay, cool. Do you, man. Take a nap. I'm going to leave you alone. But he's never struck at me. Like I said, he just kind of communicates to me what he wants to do, and most of the time he's happy with coming out. But if he doesn't want to, he tells me, I leave him alone. So, see. Now you're talking about squirrels. I've got 4 or 5 squirrels that run around out in the backyard out here. I'll sit out here and throw peanuts out the window at them. I still can't get them to come up really close. I've actually got a maple tree that I'm letting grow up to the window. And hopefully at some point we can get them coming up that little tree. Snyder. I love skinks too, man. They're just coolest little guys. I have not worked with caiman lizards. That is a species that I think would be really cool to keep because those are really cool looking. I did have, and this is one of the animals that I'm really kicking myself for rehoming. I had a Sudan plated lizard. It was just really cool. And when I thinned my herd down, he was one of the ones that I let go. I shouldn't have done it. He was just the coolest little guy. See, did I have the occasion to go herping in any inactive duty? Funny. Back when I was in active duty, I wasn't keeping. So my herping just consisted, and I was such a dummy when it came to the wildlife when I was in the military. When we was over in Iraq, we stopped and pulled security for a little while at this wheat facility, granary, because people kept coming in and stealing all the wheat, stuff like that. So we got there, set up. I got bored and kind of went for a walk around, found a snake. Still to this day, I have no idea what it was. I don't remember it well enough, but I just kind of chased it down, caught it, and brought it back to show the guys. And I had 6, 7 other guys standing around a Humvee, And I was holding him like this, and he just kind of wrapped around my arm, and I was holding his head up in my hand. And I was like, look what I got. And all of them scattered, screaming like a bunch of little girls. I've never let him live it down. It just amazes me how somebody can want to be so tough and be afraid of a little friggin' snake. So I just put him down, let him go. But no, when I was active duty, I wasn't into reptiles at the time. I was moving every couple of years. I didn't have enough stability to keep anything like that. And I was focused on other things anyway. Focused on all the things that make my knees and my back hurt today. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those plated lizards, they are really cool. Really cool to work with. Oh, cool. Not far away. Where are you guys at? I'm in central North Carolina here. Let's see. So we got a couple other things that we can go over here. And of course, if you guys got any questions, any suggestions on videos and stuff like that you'd like to see me start working on, this is always a great place to throw them out there. I am going to keep on some stuff with the Tegu and stuff like that. So, what's I going to do? Yeah, I was going to kind of recap the last video for those of you guys that didn't see it. Talking about what people's biggest fears were and working with the snakes, keeping in general snakes and lizards and whatnot. And I know the first one that I'd mentioned, it wasn't the most common. I kind of went from the least common all the way up to the most common. But one was enclosures, making sure you got the right enclosures. And I did point out something, and I would get Chloe out, but she is in blue. She's soaking in a water bowl, and I'm just going to completely leave her alone. She's miserable right now. But I've got to take the substrate completely out of there, wash that thing down, and put her down on paper. And I'm just going to throw enough moss in there to kind of keep the humidity up and stuff, because she's got this habit of, she sees me all the time. I'll come home from work, I'll sit down in here at the computer, start working on something, and she starts pushing and whatnot. So I always open up the door and just let her crawl out, and she always comes and hangs out with me. But the bad part about that is the pushing part, where she always wants to come out every time she sees me. So she gets that little band of dirt stuck in her nose, and it stays there till she sheds, and it all goes away. She's nice and clean again. But so yeah, that's one of the things when we was talking about enclosures, with so many people encouraging bioactive and stuff. And I mean, I've seen some really awesome bioactive enclosures. They're really cool. I want to start doing something similar to that for my bigger ones when I get the bigger enclosures built for them. But there are times that I think just going straight paper, simple stuff is better for them. Especially if they're ones that like to push and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be doing for her. She's going to get downgraded. I'm taking all that soil out of there because I just can't stand to see that little band of dirt around her nose all the time. It's harmless for the most part, but there's always a possibility something can get impacted in there and get infected. So that's one of the things that I was talking about that was pretty commonly mentioned. The other one was just reading behavior. And a lot of folks saying that they're not always comfortable knowing what their animal's thinking. And I don't care how long you handled or how many different animals you've worked with, you're not always going to know what they're thinking. And that was one of the things that we went over in the video with that with the marble platinum male retic down there, was that there's a lot of times, even after hundreds and hundreds of different snakes and thousands of different interactions with them, there's still times that I'll look down at a snake. I got no clue what it's thinking. I don't know whether it's happy, it's sad, hungry, horny, wants to kill me, wants to get out and run around. And so that's when you just, you take the safest approach to them that you can until you get them changing their train of thought a little bit. Until you can actually start to recognize the behavior that they're starting to do. And that was one of the things that we went over. So, if you're newer, even if you're an older keeper, don't beat yourself up. If you're looking at your snake and you're like, what are they thinking? Somebody's back there making noise. But because you're not always going to know. The trick is to get them into a state that you can recognize, just like getting them into that little exploration mode and getting them moving, getting those long tongue flicks going and stuff like that. So that was another concern. It's a matter of time and experience and stuff. And it's one of the biggest tools that we've got to help folks out when, they just can't read their snake's behavior at all. So we'll do that video chat with them and, be able to kind of see what they're doing and read it and give some advice on how to approach them and stuff like that, which a lot of folks have found really helpful. Let's see, I think I'm getting way behind. But of course, the biggest thing, the most important thing that people were talking about was being afraid of bites. And bites suck, but get back on there. Yeah, Crutchfield has got some really awesome croc monitors out there. He also took a really awesome bite from one of them. I remember when he got nailed by that one croc, man, and it messed his arm up really good. Definitely an animal to take seriously. So, you're up in Southeast Virginia. Yeah, that's not very far at all. I used to actually go ride. I used to have a sport bike. We used to ride out in the Western Virginia mountains a lot. Loved it. Wyoming border. No man's land. He was wondering if we had a topic for today's live stream. Nope. Not always. What I find is that more often than not, we'll end up going into no topic or anything like that, and just the conversation goes wherever it goes. Unless we've got a guest or something like that on, and we've got specific things that we want to talk about. And I do need to make arrangements for that. I would really like to get Bob Bledsoe on at some point, and just let everybody pick his brain, kind of find out, because he's a really interesting guy and he does really cool stuff with his animals. He's got really awesome enclosures. He's got a really good following because he's really, really creative and a really smart guy. So I'd really like to talk to him at some point. I'd sent him a message. Of course, that was before I started feeling bad. And so, of course, that fell by the wayside. But we'll see if we can hook that up at some point, too. But I find, I don't know, man. It's like, it's cool to have folks on. And, I know if folks want to come on, all you got to do is send me a message, and we'll be like, yeah, well, get on, shoot the shit for a while. But everybody's so busy kind of doing their own thing. It can be kind of difficult to schedule collaborations, and I don't want to constantly be harassing people about collabs and stuff like that, because we find enough stuff to talk about. But I know at some point I will send another message to Bob and see when he wants to set up and come on. I'll be up in PA in July for Retake Fest. So it's cool. Oceanside, California. I ain't been out to Cali in years. I'll have to go back. Beautiful area, man. The Pacific Coast Highway is something else. I love it. Armadillo lizards, are they? She was saying she'd like to get an armadillo lizard and said that they were considered illegal. I have vaguely remember hearing something about them not being able to be kept, and I don't know why. I may have to look that up again. Like I said, I vaguely remember that topic coming up. Hey, Jeremy Benson. Good to see ya. Yeah, and Brandon's from out west. Catherine Blue, good to see ya. See, Caesar. Every animal has its own personality. Some are puppy dog tame, and others are a little rough. Yeah, a little rough around the edges. That's a fair way to. That's a fair assessment on some of them. I'll tell you what, man. I've got my challenge right now is the prairie dogs. I swear I can work with any reptile. It just comes natural to me to work with them. For some reason, my friggin' female prairie dog hates me. That's the last bite that I took from her right there. And she was just being so sweet. I'm sitting there scratching her behind the ear, scratching her shoulder and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden she turns around, gets a hold of me. It's like, why? I don't know what it is, but we just do not get along. The male, I can sit there and scratch him and he's perfectly fine and stuff like that. But what ends up happening is she'll get the ass about something while I'm, she'll get jealous or whatever while I'm scratching him. And she'll get down there and start barking at him. And then he gets all stressed out and he just bites me anyway. So I've taken more prairie dog bites than I have reptile bites, I think, in the last few years. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I have. So, and I've been fortunate enough to dodge the tegu bites here recently too. So, no, cool. Yeah, Raleigh's right down the road too. I actually go out to Durham periodically. So, yeah, we may all have to link up at some point. Oh yeah, Bob's awesome, man. Definitely love me some Bob. Hey, super chat from Passer and Blue. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do my neighbors say anything when I walk my critters outside? They do. Good story about that too. My former neighbors, my immediately next door to me, there was an older couple there, and they both passed within a few months of each other. The house was empty for a while. They sold it. The new neighbors came in and were really standoffish. I don't know if they seen the logo on the Forerunner and looked it up and seen all the snakes or whatever, but like I would wave for a few months, the first few months that they were there. Wouldn't get any waves back, wouldn't get anything else, which I thought was kind of weird. So I was just kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah, man, you do you. And just never really got any response from them. And I was outside a month or two ago, something like that, one of the warm days that we had. And I had Monty, the 16-foot female, outside. And I'd seen him walking from the truck, and I seen him looking and just kind of slack-jawed a little bit, watching her cruising around the backyard. He disappears, and then him and his wife are both standing out there. So I just wave him over. And, we got to talking. They were really interested in it. They hung out there where I brought him out. I think I brought Tigger out, the bigger male retic too. And the event of me having my snake out in the backyard is actually what started us communicating. Because I seen him taking an interest and called him over, and then we started talking. So I don't know, maybe they were just shy or something like that to begin with. So I mean, the snakes are what kind of brought us together. And I told them, I was like, anytime you want to, you see my animals out here, man, you're welcome to come over and interact with them all you want to and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. So figuring out the state of mind is a trip. We're glass surfing from the vine, the first glass surfing. Yeah, it can be interesting sometimes trying to figure out what's going on with them. That is for sure. Caesar bites just happen. That's fact. Just expect it's going to happen at some time. Been bitten by snakes, gators, dogs, even a horse. Yeah. So I haven't been bitten by any gators yet. That'll probably happen because I'll pet anything. Man, what have I been bitten by? Cats, dogs, horses, of course. The retics, taking some bites from them. Bites from the Nile monitor. Took a couple stings from my lionfish, that was the most painful thing, man. That sucked so bad. Those of you guys that don't, I used to keep marine aquariums. Lionfish probably sucked the worst. And second to the lionfish was I had a 2 foot roughly black edge eel. And for those of you guys that keep eels, you'll know they're really prone to jumping out of the aquarium. So I had the lid off of it one day doing some stuff. He got excited, shot right out of it. And they're slippery. They're impossible to get a hold of. So grabbing them, trying to get them back in there. And I came up across the front of his face, and he just snatched onto my thumb. I really think if he would have got it right on a joint, he would have taken it off. Because, man, them things got razor sharp, powerful jaws. Those are the 2 worst that I've gotten was out of the aquarium, the black edge eel and the lionfish. And, of course, my puffer fish got a hold of me one day, too, which was kind of funny because I was down there hand feeding him. He comes around, he got my hands, like, pulled back. And he was still attached to my hand, and he just kind of went flying across the living room. So I had to go over and pick him up, put him back in the tank. Perfectly fine, didn't do anything to him. Pufferfish, for those of you guys that have never worked with them, they are really, really smart. And they're really cool to keep. Typically, don't worry about him biting you, but for some reason, he decided to get a hold of me that day. Wonder if Kent's scared about it. Yeah, Kent is Bob's alter ego. For those of you guys that don't know, in his videos, you guys aren't subscribed to Green Room Pythons, man. You definitely need to go over there and check him out. He puts out some really good stuff. He's got some really cool animals too. He's got a really big community over there. So, Rachel says she lost a fingernail to a tegu bite. Yeah, that's one thing about working with this tegu here, man. I do not give him enough rope to hang myself with. He's a male. He's not huge for a male, but he's a reasonably sized male with some reasonably sized teeth. And if he was to get a hold of me, I definitely know I've been gotten a hold of. I really don't want to be sitting up here suturing myself back together anytime soon, which I have done before. Many, many years ago. Ended up opening my finger up so I had to come up in the office and throw one of them pads down so I didn't bleed all over my desk. And I'm sitting there trying to suture it with one hand. And it was right there next to the joint, too. So if you don't do it just right, then you end up digging into your cartilage. It sucks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'd rather get bitten by Niles, my 6 foot Nile monitor, than this old tegu. Because, I mean, Niles, he's bitten me before when he was about 4 feet long, right on the back of the neck. And he just kind of hung on there and left a little bit of marks there from his teeth. But I really think if that would have been a tegu, I'd have been in trouble. How's Silent Bob been treating me? Well, let's go find out. I'm going to go get him out. Let's see. Hey, bud. Where you at? Hey, bud. Where's your head? You want to come see me? I know you don't want to come see me. What are you doing? You want to come out? He's getting ready to eat tomorrow, and I know he's ready to eat. So, I know. I know. Come on. I know. Come on. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You go. I know. He still gets kind of grumpy about coming out, but get the camera down here on him a little bit. But once he gets out, he's okay. I know, you're still mad. There you go. Just cheer up a little bit there, bud. But one thing that's really cool is when I go into his enclosure now, he doesn't swing at me. I mean, he'll hiss and let me know that he doesn't want to be messed with at the moment. But it really doesn't take him long to relax and just get cool. And he really doesn't swing at me anymore. Pretty trustworthy, ain't you? There you go. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with him, this is a Sri Lankan python. They were previously classified as locality Indian rock pythons, but they were reclassified, given their own species. And they grow a little bit smaller than your typical rock pythons. And these guys are really cool, man. And especially if you're used to working with Burms. Because I've got a female Burmese over there that's just about the same size as him. But it's just such a really good example of the difference between her head structure and the color pattern and stuff like that. And he's got that pink blush on top of his head. And the two-tone eyes. If I can get this damn camera to focus on, there you go. You got that lighter tone on the top and darker on the bottom like that. I don't know. He's a gorgeous animal, and he knows it. And all those bright lights are stressing him out. So let me pull him back over here a little bit. But he does really good. If you guys hadn't seen it, for those of you guys that may be newer to the channel or something, if you go into the playlists here on the YouTube channel, I've got one that shows every handling session with him from the very first time all the way through until we actually got him finished with the bite. Come on, bud. All right. So now he's going to try and choke me out. Come on. Be nice. Don't choke me. He's such a good boy. It's really funny too, because there's been a couple times so far, like I said, most of the time when I take him out, he'll huff at me. But there's been a couple times where I've been standing up here looking out the window or something. I'll look over and he'll just be sitting at the glass with his tongue just hanging out there like a little puppy dog. And I open it up and he doesn't give me any headache at all about coming out. And I really don't worry about him biting me anymore. That being said, he might still. Because like right now, I mean, he's still a little bit stressed out. And this is one of those things too, talking about them, not being able to read their behavior or not being sure what they're thinking. Once you get to know like that snake's individual personality, then you can kind of tell. I mean, when he stops and his tongue's not terribly active, it just means he's not completely comfortable. And he's pretty close. I mean, he's hungry too. It's time for him to eat tomorrow. So just see that. But all you do with him is you just, some stimulus to get them moving in a different direction. Something to get their mind working. So, yeah. But he's just not active. If there's no food involved right now, he doesn't want to be messed with. But he's really a good boy. He's leaps and bounds from when we first got this guy. First time I took him out, he bit me so many times I lost count. And it was all on tape too. Actually, one time, see, I don't like this. With him just sitting there like that and me talking, I'm kind of afraid he's going to freaking pop me in the face again. He has done that before. He's got this really funny thing that he does too, where he'll wrap his tail around my back and then he'll just sit there and rub my back with his tail. See if I can get caught up on. Oh, let's see. I think we were here. Bit in the stomach by a full-grown macaw. Oh my God. I bet you felt like you were disemboweled. I don't doubt that one bit. That's, man. I love birds. I love parrots, macaws, and stuff like that. But man, I am always so leery about them. You go into a pet shop and you see them sitting there. First instinct is you want to. No, they look like they could completely take your finger off if they wanted to. See, they're saying gators from 3 to 7 feet are the worst. I could see that. I mean, you see all kinds of videos of people getting nailed by gators, man, and yeah, they are pretty quick, especially the ones that run. You see all those videos. Like there was one where you see one coming up to a sliding glass door at a house, and they're filming it, and then they let the dog out, and the dog goes up to the glass and starts barking, scares the hell out of the gator, and he just turns around and hauls ass straight back to the water. It's so funny to watch him run. Says their tiger was caught in Florida and sold at a reptile show. It's a great personality. They can be. They can have really awesome personalities that may have, been an escaped pet or a released pet or something down there that was just kind of happy to be in out of the wild. Let's see. Yeah, Passer in Blue was talking about being bit down to the bone by a macaw. 950 psi. Ouch. Yeah, parrot bite's got to be just about as bad as that black edge eel bite that I took. Not a little bit worse. Jeez. Hey Sam, how you doing? Oh yeah, he definitely lets me know. He does so much better now once I get him out. Let's see, we're gonna. Yeah, Bob's a bit of a celebrity. It's hard to get through a live stream without somebody asking about him. He knows it too, don't you, buddy? There you go. What? You got something else to say? He's such a good boy when you want to be. And I appreciate you saying that, but man, that's one of the things that when you go back and you watch the first videos, I mean, he's flailing all over the place, and it looks like neither one of us have a clue what we're doing. And you get some people, he's talking about, like, even in that last video, he's talking about the choice-based handling and all that stuff. And there's most of the time, that's awesome, if you can work with him on that level. But like with him, he was just so terrified of people. There was no way. You could have had that door open for a year, and he would have just sat there and hissed at you and swung at you. So sometimes you just got to get him out and show him that, you're not going to die. And now that he knows he's not going to die, he can come out and relax. Is that right, bud? You can come out and chill. Yeah, that's what I tell people too. I mean, these snakes, they don't want to hurt. They don't want to hurt nobody. They don't want to fight. They want to just cruise around and do snake stuff and be chill. But the people gotta let them be chill in order to do it. So, okay, so we are coming up on 8:22 right now, and we have got our Zoom call, our Zoom meetup for our paid Patreon members coming up at 8:30. So I've got to kind of get my ducks in a row for that. Where you going? Okay, I guess he's. What are you doing? Where are you going, bud? I love this guy. So happy with the progress he's made too. I mean, if you get an animal that's afraid of you, when it gets out of your direct control, it's gonna run away. He gets out of my direct control now. He turns around, comes right back the other direction, comes right back down the arm, like, hey, you happy, boy? You're not mad that I took you out now, are you? He wants to find the cheese boy. I know you got one somewhere. Probably smells the rats on my hand or something. Let's see. Okay, so I am going to, if you guys look in the description of any of the videos, if you're interested in jumping on the Patreon, one of the things that we started doing was for all the paid members, doing a Zoom meetup every Saturday after this. So you guys definitely welcome to jump on board. Any tier, any contributing member can jump on there, man, show different snakes off and kind of share advice and all that other stuff. So typically a lot of fun. We got some really great, knowledgeable folks on there. So, and of course we had to miss last week of that too. So I need to get my ducks in a row and get on that. So guys, if you aren't already, jump down, get subscribed to the channel, go down, get subscribed to the USARK YouTube channel as well. All that stuff's in the description, all my videos. Get your membership squared away. It's easy money, especially if you keep any kind of animals. And like I said, if you guys want to jump, anybody that's a last minute person to jump on the Patreon, if you don't get an invite after you sign up, just send me a message either on Facebook or Instagram, something like that, and we'll make sure we get you an invite sent out. So I'm gonna put you back. I'm gonna take a quick break for about 3 minutes, and then for those of you guys that are coming over to the Zoom call, we will see you guys there. So good to see everybody. Sorry we missed last week, but we will definitely see you guys next Saturday, and we'll see what we can get done with the Tegu here over the next couple of days too. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you soon.